your Mets raised the white flag over the last few days, and you can put the thumbs down as you're currently doing on our Roku channel feed, TJ. But at least they chose a lane.
Yeah.
At least they chose a lane. And what lane they chose was to wave the white flag on this season and send basically the AL West into a tizzy. And the Mets will decide who wins the American League West. As Max Scherzer is now with the Texas Rangers. By the way, Mets got back Acuna's kid brother.
Yes.
In that trade, who's now automatically their second best prospect, according to those who
number 44
talk about
overall.
These matters in their system, right? Number 44 overall. He's number 2 in the Texas Rangers Mets system now. Yep. And now Justin Verlander goes to Houston. And in case you're wondering how the Astros feel about this, they tweeted out a photograph of him staring right down your face back where he belongs. And he's I understand. And he is I know I think Tiger fans might get a little pushback there, but
hey.
And how did the Astros react to that? Well, Framber Valdez went out and threw a 90-pitch no-hitter.
Unreal.
Okay. So the Astros add Verlander and then get a no-hitter from arguably still their best pitcher, right? You say that? You make that argument right now?
Verlander's been good the last month.
I know Verlander's going to the Hall. Yeah. I get it. But that's how the Astros are doing these days.
So they're doing great is what you're saying.
Well, and the Rangers are going to have to hope that they went ahead and got the piece that they need in Max Scherzer, who, by the way, on the way out the door, 20-game winner for the Mets, unfortunately for them, over a year and a half.
Yeah.
After spending 1.5 of the 3-year contract, 3-year, $130 million contract. I mean, he's making he made a nice run for his Bobby Bonilla Mets money right there, man. And on the way out the door, him saying how the reason why he's gone, as if the obvious Mets flopping on center stage wasn't enough. He said he talked to the general manager, Billy Epler, spoke to him and said to him, "Hey, what's the plan here?
What gives?"
And he said. The general manager told him, well, 2025 is our target date to start
new plan.
Getting big-time players in here, which is kind of interesting that the general manager for the Mets would tell the plan to Max Scherzer, hey, next year we're not going to really be in it on free agency, and it's 2025 we'll be in on the big players. I'm paraphrasing what Scherzer told the press going out the door. And the one thing I saw there, if they're not going after big-name free agents in 2024, meaning this upcoming non-playing season, are they not in on Ohtani?
Apparently not.
Did the general manager of the Mets tell Max Scherzer, you might as well get out of here because we're not in on anybody? Or the fact that Scherzer's money for next year is off the books, we're assuming, and then Verlander's money is off the books, that maybe they can now go for Ohtani. And I don't understand why people needed to be cleared to get off the books for Ohtani, since there's a deity in the world that many of us pray to, the same or different deity, but we all have a deity. And Steve Cohen apparently has more money than that deity. So I don't understand what that's about.
The Mets are paying $137.5 million to players who aren't on the team.
Which, by the way, I believe is the 9th highest payroll in Major League Baseball currently. They're paying more money to players on the team than 2/3 of the league are paying their current rosters. That's what the Mets are doing. Okay, but hey.
Can I tap out? Can I wait?
You can tap out all you want. And when you tap out, look to your right or your left, you'll see a Yankee fan sitting right next to you. Because at least the Mets chose a lane. The Yankees were looking for a lane. And I don't mean Bennis either. Because she's sitting in an Orioles hat happy right now in Yankee Stadium because The Orioles are sitting atop that division, sitting atop the American League next to the Rays. They have the same number of wins, Route 66. There are the Astros needing to make up 5 games here with Verlander now in the mix in order to have home field throughout the American League playoffs that I believe all 3 of those teams I just mentioned, Astros, Rays, and Orioles, will make. Looks like the Rangers are looking good for that. And whoever, survives the island of misfits in the American League Central will make the playoffs. And then it's who else makes that final wild card spot in the American League. Blue Jays, Red Sox, Angels, and the Yankees and Mariners have the same record, 3 games above 500 right now. But the Yankees were choosing a lane. They were staring for a lane. Which lane were they going to choose here? And as of, I was sitting around yesterday, doom scrolling on many fronts. And up came this tweet from Katie Sharp, who I follow on Twitter or X, and I believe she's a John Boy individual, stat head as well. She tweeted out, as of 4 p.m. Eastern time, the Yankees are the only team that hasn't been involved in a trade at this year's trade deadline.
Man, I saw that yesterday.
And my jaw hit the floor. I'm like, you know what? I know they haven't made a move, but they're the only team that has not acquired or traded somebody away to amass prospects. They are they're still going down the highway that they have built for themselves in 2023 and haven't chosen a exit lane or a much more high occupancy vehicle lane for them. They haven't done that yet. Well, then all of a sudden just keep on scrolling and eventually a deal will be made, and they made 2 for Keenan Middleton, a right-handed reliever for the White Sox, and Spencer Howard for the Rangers, a right-handed pitcher for the Rangers. And, the White Sox, I get. Maybe I have no idea. Again, I don't know who these people are, and I apologize to them. I'm sure they're very hard workers to get where they've gotten, and their family loves them. But how good can this guy from the Rangers be? They're flipping an arm? Teams that are now in a legit figurative arms race and just added 2 Cy Young future Hall of Fame arms to the figurative arms race are flipping an arm to the Yankees. How good can this guy possibly be? And I thought to myself, looking at that, 2 trades on deadline day, one that used to involve a Ranger and another one that came from the Cubs. Remember when they got Votto and Anthony Rizzo, and you're like, okay, Yanks really mean business. Mm-hmm. And now there's this, and Rizzo can't hit a home run, and Gallo's long gone. I think he's now 3 teams removed from the Yankees. His career went right down the tubes as soon as Cashman put his thumb on the Gallo scale. Be lucky to have Votto. And I just slapped my head. And that was it. That's all the Yankees did. And Brian Cashman chose to stay in the lane, stay in his lane. The lane of, I made these moves in the offseason. This was the team I thought that could win the World Series after re-signing Judge and re-signing Rizzo and getting Carlos Rodon in. And I got Frankie Montas at last year's trade deadline. Thought he would be able to go, but he got hurt. But Severino's coming back. Nestor Cortez is an all-star. This is it. This is what Cashman had to say. Brian Cashman had to say after the trade deadline netted the Yankees that.
Obviously, we're in it to win it. So, we stayed the course. Because of that, obviously we've got Nestor coming back as well as Loaizaga soon, and we know that we have better baseball in us, although we haven't shown that and proven that. but we've got 2 more months to show that now. So ultimately reinforced a little bit of the pen, with the Middleton acquisition, and there was a designation of assignment, last second out of Texas, so we grabbed Spencer Howard real quick, an option to Scranton. Certainly we were aggressively trying to do more and be open-minded to a lot of things coming our way, but when the dust settled, this is obviously we stayed the course with what we had because we felt that given the options that were available coming our way or the options that we were unable to secure, this was the best play for us with the team we had that we still are within striking distance, and let's try to find a way to figure our way through it and get ourselves in and see what we can do if we can get there.
So then we learned the Ranger they got, they're not even using. And I guess was available because Scherzer came in to Texas. So he did a little bit of both. He got an arm for future use and got an arm for now. And we just haven't heard about either or any of them. And I heard that. I thought to myself, Cashman must be feeling the heat. There must be some sort of heat on him where he feels like his gig is on the line. And I know my buddy Jimmy Traynor doesn't think that. And John Boy may join us shortly and reinforce that Cashman is there no matter what happens. Because if Cashman was about making sure the Yankees are winners long term, that's what general managers do. They not just keep their eyes on the road right in front of them on the steering wheel, but down the road or across the horizon as well. Then he would have said, who wants LeMahieu? Who wants Rizzo? Who wants, name it. Name me anybody not named Judge. Name me anybody not named Volpe. Anyone else? Who wants Torres? Who wants any of these guys right now and amass the prospects to build around Judge, who I guess he couldn't look in the face and say, yeah, we're selling off. Because Yankees don't sell off. It would have been terrible to watch a sell off and see what would happen over the next 7-8 weeks. As a Yankee fan, I'd be like, okay, then bring the kids up. Let's see. Let's see what you got. Let's see if we can be as plucky as the Orioles with a raise. But instead, he held on to the cards. And unfortunately for Cashman, how did the people who he says were staying the course, that's how we're showing we're all in? Because I believed this was the championship quality team that I built in the offseason. I'm sticking with it to the point where I'm not going to trade anyone off for parts, and I'm not going to acquire anybody that I'm overspending to go get. How did they reward him? 3 hits in the first 8 innings, 2 meaningless runs in the 9th. Gave a nice little scare that they did bring a tying run to the plate against a Rays team that went up early on again. 5-2 lost. They totally felt. Rodon gave up 4 runs and 4+. Faceplant. And Boone must be sitting there going, I'm out of buttons to push. And Cashman's like, well, I'm out of options to actually acquire. Your 2023 New York Yankees, right there. Catch the Rich Eisen Show every single day on the Roku channel, 12 to 3 Eastern, for free.